Tracking gusty winds and the potential for higher fire danger in the forecast. I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods with our weather impact alert days ahead. We're going to start off with the first round that will continue through tomorrow morning due to the gusty winds. Being aware of all the outdoor hazards, including tree limbs, branches, even trees themselves, and a lot of floating debris, as well as driving conditions over the Yolo Causeway, overpasses. Everything with a high-profile vehicle may be a little bit more difficult to navigate, especially into early Monday. Now, with these weather impact alert days continuing, make sure to download that ABC 10 Plus streaming app if you haven't done so already. We've got these in-depth forecasts and explainers. And if you're on our app, make sure you check out our weather specials, which also has our new one, California Dying Lakes, on there. Wind advisory in place through tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Now, this will be confined to much of the valley and the Delta, especially in the Delta region, where we've been seeing some of the strongest gusts continuing with those weather impact alert days ahead. Peak wind gusts for today, 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts right along that I-80 line through Fairfield. Then again, in parts of the Delta region, northern San Joaquin Valley, we had wind gusts over 30 miles per hour. As we head into tomorrow morning, we're still going to be dealing with the winds. Right around midnight, we get another little pulse of those stronger wind gusts coming through, and then they back off ever so slightly for the morning commute, but really starting to die down by the evening hours. So the evening drive, not so bad, as well as that evening walk. Then we get into our next wind event. So it's just about a 24-hour break before we start to see more winds coming our way this week. The nice thing with this first wind event is the fire danger wasn't particularly high. We had the recent rain coming through, and it had been dry for almost 180 days before we saw that rain on Halloween and again on Friday night through early Saturday, giving us 36/100ths of an inch of rain. Our average for the entire month is just about 1.75 inches. We have a ways to go. Obviously, we're just a couple days into the month, but it's been nice to kind of get the rain cycle going here. Statewide, this is how much rain we've had since October 1st, the beginning of the water year. Eureka, actually above average right now with over 3 inches of rain just since October 1st. The rest of the region is on the dry side, and really this isn't too much of a cause for concern. The start of the rainy season, either we get into it with a big boost or we just kind of get a little bit on the slower side to wake up our weather conditions here and get the rain going. But before we saw this rain late in October through early November, it was all the way back on May 4th since we really saw a significant downpour of rain. Average monthly rainfall really starts to ramp up by December, January, and February. So like I said, really not too much of a reason for concern yet. November, it can be dry or wet. Usually it's not until the middle to end of November that we start to see things really get going. In terms of our drought monitor, we actually saw some improvement week to week. October 22nd, our drought severity and coverage index was at 94. We saw a couple of pockets of some more extreme conditions, including severe drought in the northeast corner of southeast corner, of California. And then right along the northern border here, we had some moderate drought that was actually starting to at least diminish somewhat on the eastern side of the state here for our drought monitor. So we no longer see that higher drought severity and coverage index. That's down to 91. And certainly with the rain coming in that we saw Friday into Saturday, that wasn't included in the latest drought monitor. So hopefully that will help to ease things a little bit. Again, there's not too much concern right now because we just exited our dry season, which typically we don't see a whole lot of rain. So we don't see a whole lot of change there. Our latest weather feature is now moving off to the east. So behind it, we're watching that high pressure ridge build in. That's going to stay in place. It's just the presence of that low being in the Great Basin and opposition to that high pressure ridge that creates those gusty winds. And again, that will stay in place at least through tomorrow morning. Then wind making a return again Tuesday evening. And unfortunately, with the first round of dry northerly winds, it looks like the moisture that we had from the recent rain and the fuel is going to start to dry out. So it's very possible that we could see a higher fire danger coming our way Tuesday into Wednesday. Here's a look at the setup. Again, tonight we're going to see that low pressure system exit. That's what gives us a little bit of relief from the wind event on Tuesday. So for Election Day, not starting off totally windy, but we will start to see it pick up as the day goes along because of the low pressure system coming in. So that's what we're going to see here. High pressure ridge will stay in place. And so it will be dry. It's just with the dryness and again, this first round of wind coming through that is going to dry out the fuel. It's just a matter of how much. So we'll have to wait and see on Tuesday to see how the fuels were able to retain some of the moisture and if they are going to be vulnerable to a wind event with rapidly spreading fires. That would be more for the lower elevations, though, because the higher elevations have been cooler and they got a lot of rain and snow, actually, with the last couple of systems coming through. So our wind gusts on Tuesday evening starting to ramp up here. And then by Wednesday morning, they're closer to about 40 miles per hour right along that I-80 line. And again, particularly vulnerable near the Delta. Our 8 to 14-day climate outlook is back to a cooler than average outlook and potentially likely wetter. So once we get into the middle of November, it is looking like we get a couple more systems coming through. The first of which doesn't really hit us until Veterans Day. So if you're trying to get in a 3-day weekend here and have some outdoor activities planned for that Monday on Veterans Day, just be aware, might be a soaker for us. Still a little too early to tell, but certainly one to watch as we deal with some of the wetter weather coming through. After that, it does look like a high pressure ridge builds right back in and the storm track goes well to the north beyond that. Highs for tomorrow in the 50s for the Sierra with 60s through the foothills. We'll see those morning lows starting off in the 40s. So with the wind, it's going to feel a little bit chilly out there. 60s along the coast. We get into the 70s inland again. Those north winds tend to be dry, warmer, and it gets us back near average because we had been sitting well below average last week ahead of the rain systems that were coming through. Dry for the next 5 days for the mountains and the foothills. Highs will stay fairly consistent for the foothills. We're in the 60s. There's not too much fluctuation here with our temperatures for afternoon highs. Our 3-day forecast features the weather impact alert through tomorrow morning, and then we'll see that taper off during the afternoon. We're right back at it Tuesday and Wednesday, and then dry, fairly seasonable weather through the upcoming weekend. And again, we'll track that chance of showers heading towards Veterans Day.